ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be talking about case number 7143279. Lupin is burning. I'm Inspector Josh.
I am Constable Johnstable.
And I'm your always friendly neighborhood officer, the best bro, Heather.
Today we're talking about 2 episodes of Lupin III, Series 1, or Part 1. I think it's Part 1.
Part 1, yeah.
Part 1. Part 1 ran from 1971 to 1973, I want to say. Something around there.
Something forever ago.
Yeah. Season 1 has 23 episodes. It ran from 71 to 72. So just about 6 months, looks like, or so. From October 24th, 1971 to March 26th, 1972.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So I think we have about 23 rough episodes of television ahead of us.
Woo!
70s were a dark time for female lead characters?
Was she a lead? Are we going to go with... I mean, at this point, was she a lead? I know she eventually becomes one, but...
We'll say she was.
And also to that, we'll see if she eventually becomes one.
Yeah. So it wasn't bad when he just called her his lover, Fujiko. I was like, okay, because I know that that's who Lupin is. He's kind of a playboy, and that's what he's about. And then it just got real bad from there.
Little bit. A lot of bit. So episode 1, titled "Is Lupin Burning?" ellipses interrobang. The answer we'll find out, spoiler alert, is no.
Nope.
By the way, folks, if you want to watch along with us as we're going through this, you can find all of these episodes for free on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll
is a different thing. Crunchyroll.
With ads, if you want to get the premium Crunchyroll, no ads, that costs an amount of money.
Roughly $8.
Apparently, also, it's available on Prime Video.
So if you want to pay $80 a year, you can get it on there as well.
Yeah.
Unless you already have Amazon Prime, and then, it's free too.
Yeah.
I guess you could do that.
Yep. So episode 1 concerns Lupin, who wants to win I think these are F1 cars, I want to say. It look like.
I think so, yeah.
They're not like stock cars, and they're not NASCAR.
No. Well, I mean, NASCAR's not a thing outside of the U.S. So.
Yeah. But it's definitely not like, what do you call it?
It's not like Formula 51 or anything.
That's what F1 is.
Yeah.
Is that what F1 is?
Yes, it's Formula 51.
Yeah.
Oh. But I thought they were different kind of cars, though.
No, these are
they're the skinny in the middle and the big 4 tires.
Yeah, and then the big spoilers
I guess they
on
were
the back.
like that, yeah.
Yeah. It's not like Le Mans or one of those ones where it's like the muscle or super muscle cars or whatever.
Yeah. The souped up cars.
Ford v Ferrari, that's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
So this is definitely more yeah. So apparently, from what I can tell, so I think I can speak for all of us when I say we have not watched or read the manga, I should say.
No.
And I think this is definitely continuing from storylines from that, just based on the fact that everyone already knows everybody else, and Lupin has a mortal enemy that he's very familiar with, because they kind of just throw us right into that, because he's going against the Scorpion Gang.
Yeah.
And he already knows Fujiko, and Zenigata has already been chasing him for a long time.
I feel like this is one of those things where
there's no timeline.
There's no timeline, so they're just like, let's just throw you in.
Yeah.
And then we'll just show you everything as it comes about and not worry about
the characters meeting.
Yeah.
Or which episode the characters are going to meet in for the first time. So maybe the Scorpion Gang will be introduced later on in the season?
Maybe?
I think they come back. I know they come back in like part 3.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I'm not entirely sure.
So there are. Yeah, so Lupin wants to win this race, which we find out is a trap for him.
Yeah.
They specifically say that they spent 500 billion yen to build
A
this.
lot of money.
Yeah, to build this race course just to trap Lupin. And then he knows it's a trap, and he entered the race to spring the trap because he wanted to turn around on them, even though at the time that I guess he was just going to go in there and kill them all.
Yeah.
And then it
So
just
it looks
happened
like
that
he had
Fujiko-
like a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, a plan Z. Because Fujiko was plan A. That Fujiko was just going to go figure out what was going on so he could avoid it and be fine.
Yeah, because he won. His thing was just about winning the race. That's
just
all
wanted
he
to win
cared
the
about.
He legitimately just wanted to drive the car and win the race.
Yeah. So Fujiko was supposed to go figure out what they were going to do so that he could avoid that. And then it turns out that Fujiko gets caught.
And a lot of bad things happen there that
Ugh,
we
that
can
would
get talking about.
It was a simpler time.
So is this show meant for children?
I really hope not. I mean, they're technically tickling her.
Technically,
Yeah.
And while he does rip her shirt open, you don't technically see any num-nums,
No.
even though they definitely outlined some.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, not that I was like looking or anything.
Yeah, no, of course not. I mean, they showed it. They showed it to you front and center for a very long time.
Very long time.
So one of the
Those are in a lot of inappropriate places, actually.
Yeah.
He like full on gropes her tit with his little hand,
stick.
staff,
little
and
back
then he
scratcher.
100% just grabs her vajay.
Yeah. The little what does he call it? Pothole in the road. Because he's
Yeah.
doing some double entendre.
Oh,
Yep.
Jesus. Yeah.
Because her tits are the mountains, and then he's like racing down
yeah.
her stomach to the pothole.
Or it's maybe said called it something. It's definitely a double entendre in there
A
somewhere.
ditch, maybe.
Yikes.
One of the distracting things is that I think that was Mr. X, the bad guy.
Yeah.
Mr. X.
Hey, totally looked like Homer Simpson though.
A lot of the time, he really did.
17 years before Homer Simpson was a thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I could imagine Matt Groening being a fan of anime growing up
Possibly.
and watching Lupin the Third somehow on video cassette recorded off of something somehow. Like, to be fair, I don't know the regionalization of Lupin the Third. I don't know if it ever became popular over here at all. For various reasons that we've talked about on our other episodes of things we've talked about.
Well, like, anime localization was barely a thing until the late 90s, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But even just taking the animation and then redoing everything like they used to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happened with this. Because they
I don't
couldn't call it
think
Lupin the
so.
Third. Because Castle of Cagliostro was 82 that it finally came over, I want to say.
Because it was released in 79, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
It took a few years. They had to rename everybody. Lupin had to be called Wolf because Arsène Lupin was still copywritten by somebody at the time in the rest of the world outside of Asia.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this ever became a big thing outside of like that movie.
Well, I will be interested. So once we're finished with part 1, the first 80 episodes of part 2
Of the 150?
of 155
Yeah.
have a dub.
Interesting.
So that would be
But only the
interesting,
first 80?
But only the first 80.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to dive into when we get to that.
Yeah.
Well,
see.
but would that timeline line up with the movie coming out? Those first 80 being around when the...
I don't know. I'd have to check and see when part 2 was released.
Part 2 ran from 1977 to 1980, according to IMDb.
So it's entirely possible
And maybe
that...
maybe when when Castle of Cagliostro came over,
they also brought over what they would have deemed to be
leading into it.
Yeah.
Episodes, or like people were like, I want this, and they didn't have the next part out, and so people were watching
so they're like,
those.
we'll give you
80 episodes, and then they were like, yeah, no, actually we're not watching this.
Yeah.
So just a quick note that I noticed here. This doesn't make sense. That's 38 episodes. There must be some co-directing going on here. So Hayao Miyazaki directed 15 episodes in the first season. Isao Takahata directed 15 episodes also in the first season. And Masaki Osumi directed 8 episodes in the first season, which I have already mentioned has 23 episodes.
So yeah, some co-director-ish going on.
Yeah, hopefully Mr. Miyazaki can give us some episodes that don't have any bad touch. I can only hope.
1 and 2.
We're 2 for 2 so far.
2 for 2.
Poor Fujiko. Like, when we were getting into this, when we decided we were going to do this, I was so excited because Fujiko is such a kind of a badass in Castle.
In the movie?
Yeah, in Castle of Cagliostro.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we were lied to.
And then, like, when we were looking up, like, memes of Fujiko and, like, when we were checking her out, she, like, was badass. She was cool and badass.
And we were definitely checking her out.
And we were definitely checking her out because it didn't seem like bad things were happening. I'm like, this Fujiko, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, season 1 Fujiko definitely has a lot less agency than Castle's
so far.
She's half a character.
Yeah.
She's just tits.
A little bit.
Right now.
For now.
Right now, she is literally just a pair of walking tits.
Yeah, we will hopefully update that with her actually being a character.
I would really, really, really like that if we could.
Yeah.
Because right now, I'm just super not on board.
Yeah, right now, it's like 12-year-old me is fine with it. Adult me who's like, oh, wait, that's bad, is like, oh, wait, that's bad.
Yeah. But as mentioned before, this episode is also our first introductions to Mr. Inspector Zenigata.
Zenigata.
My boy Zenigata.
Oof, that fucking chin.
That jawline.
That jawline, though.
Hell yeah.
Just great
Woo.
cheese on.
Also, like, I definitely thought, again, we didn't know much about Lupin besides Castle of Cagliostro, so
Which is, as far as his character goes, is a terrible representation of his character.
Is it?
Yes.
I thought he had so much more presence. I thought we were going to get more of a cat and mouse game, and literally he is barely in the first episode and not at all in the second.
I mean, Lupin's character.
Yes.
Yes.
Zenigata is who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I thought we were going to have more cat and mouse. I thought there was going to be a lot more Zenigata.
There is a bit of cat and mouse in this one.
Is there?
There's just a 90% of the episode is a single still shot of him driving the car.
Yeah.
With the background going very fast past him.
Yeah.
And him talking about how he's finally going to get Lupin. There's no way he's going to escape from him this time. And then he most definitely does.
After killing people in front of Zenigata and then leaving. Spoilers.
Yeah, he just straight up blows up a bunch of people in this.
A bunch of people, like hundreds of people. And then at the end, Zenigata's like, I can't arrest you for anything. You haven't done anything wrong. I'm like, do you see those
Do you
fires?
not see the burning
Yeah.
people? Oh, yeah, he didn't do that, though, apparently.
So one of the things I was kind of disappointed with these first 2 episodes, amongst other things, was that we get no thievery in the first 2 episodes, and it looks
Nope.
like might not be any in the first season at all.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. This show is definitely going to be a trip, I think.
Hopefully going into part 2, like they've figured out something to do other than what they've been doing, because it's a lot of like.
Hopefully the
Weird
rest of
stuff.
part 1 might, like, calm down, because... Are we just talking about both in general now, or are we gonna just...
Yeah, I mean, okay, so episode 1.
Episode 1 doesn't have a lot. There's a reason why we watched 2 episodes, because we were really trying to figure out if we were going to watch just 1 episode per one of our podcast episodes, or if we were going to watch 2. And not a lot happened in the first one.
Yeah.
But also, a lot happened.
Yeah, I really did like the fact that they didn't spend time on introductions to these characters. They just threw us into that world, which is nice.
Yeah.
Watching Lupin do his laundry in the elevator, that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny. Yeah, there was some funny like gags with Lupin.
Yeah, they introduced him doing his disguises,
which I liked. That was
Yeah.
really good. You get to see him and Jugen do the switcheroo.
Which I was kind of, on the one hand, I was like, I get it because he needs Zenigata to still be on the tail of his car while he goes and does his thing.
Yeah.
But on the same time, I'm just like, you just put Jigen in a position to where if they do
Jigen
any more
can't.
traps,
Yeah.
like your
killing
bro's gonna
Jigen.
get killed here in a second.
I don't think Lupin cares.
Yeah.
Dude, the way he treats human life, I don't think he has much respect for it because, like, not only does he kills a lot of people in this episode.
Yeah. So it's very interesting because while we get a lot of time with Lupin, I don't really feel like we got a character of Lupin. He did some funny things, but I know nothing more about him than I didn't already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they had these people there, but you don't know. Had we not watched Castle of Cagliostro first, I would have no idea who these people are.
Yeah.
Like I'd have no idea what their kind of characters are. I would probably think that Lupin gave no shits about human life and just murked people.
And that he wasn't a thief.
And that he wasn't a thief. I just thought I would think that he was the bad guy. And that maybe the Scorpion gang aren't the bad guys trying to take this guy out. Maybe Zenigata's got it right. Maybe he should catch him. Why am I rooting for this dude after all?
Hopefully we figure that out within the next 20 years of content that we have between the episodes and the movies.
Yeah. So, there was a lot happened. The episodes are 24
minutes.
24 minutes. So, I mean, there was 24 minutes worth of stuff in this particular episode.
And they move along briskly.
They do.
Yeah.
You're not waiting for anything. The pacing didn't feel off. Like, I felt through a lot of stuff.
Yeah. One of the things that I think is going to be funny to me, specifically through part 1, and we'll see if it gets any different moving forward from there, or when it changes, because the movie wasn't like this. But so far, these first 2 episodes, you don't need to actually know what any of the characters are saying to understand that things are moving forward.
Nope. Yeah, we could have watched this with no subtitles, and I think I still would have
gotten the basic gist of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This could have been a silent cartoon.
Yeah. And it's very, like, I feel like that is very much a product of the time of just like anything that they're saying is only directly related to anything going on.
Yeah. There's no subtext to anything.
No.
They're not
Zero.
having conversations about anything else. Just what they're doing.
Anytime he like is speaking in like a like swoony tone, he's clearly talking about Fujiko, and either that's to her face or
and you
to
can
Jigen.
tell because like his face changes when he talks about Fujiko.
Yeah.
And Jigen is always very dry.
It feels like this was very much meant for like, and we do this with our child. It's early in the morning. Kid gets up, wants to watch TV. Parents are not ready to be awake nor deal with their child. Go watch this in the living room quietly. Quietly. Your TV is not allowed to go above 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, hopefully you're a teenager because there's swears and boobs.
Yeah, seriously though. Whew. Maybe you're watching
And a
this
lot of
in
violence.
maybe you're watching this in the dark after you're supposed to be in bed.
That one sounds more accurate.
Yeah.
Everybody's gone to bed. You just put the towel under the underseam of your door so the light doesn't shine through.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that nobody knows you're staying
going
awake.
Somewhere else with your
No,
towel.
just blocking light. So
Yeah.
because-
That's only if you have like a 1-inch gap under your door, like we did.
Yeah.
There was a big gap.
We did.
Not all doors have the big gap.
No.
Our house has gaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just watch TV up until like midnight, 1 a.m. because you can.
So the important thing to remember from episode 1 is that Jigen, Fujiko, and Lupin are all some sort of team of some kind that fight
Kind of.
something.
Kind of, except
They know
for,
each other and they're working together.
Yeah, except for then Fujiko 100% sells out Lupin
Yeah.
Yeah.
to Zenigata.
Yeah.
She 100% sells them out. So
he and Jigen are always working together.
they're a team.
I
and
feel
Fujiko is an in-between.
I feel like, yeah, she's kind of a wild card of like...
So Lupin and Jigen are Batman and Robin, and Fujiko is Catwoman.
Yes.
Batman and Nightwing.
Batman and Nightwing, yeah. I was going to go with Jigen was Batman.
Jigen is clearly Batman.
And Lupin was Robin. But...
Oh. No, I'll say... No, Lupin's more of a Nightwing.
Yeah. And then, Fujiko is meant to be like a Catwoman.
Yeah.
And so, like, Fujiko goes through this very weird sexual assault. And then at the end of it comes out with a little bit of an actual character where she throws herself sexily at Zenigata and turns in Lupin. So really not that much more character, but at least not being sexually
I mean,
assaulted.
what else do female characters have to offer other than being...
So episode 2 was called The Man.
So I know you're kidding, but these people don't know you. Like, maybe...
The second episode is called The Man They Called a Magician, in which they apparently meet Fujiko for the first time because Jigen continuously talks about her as if he doesn't know who she is.
So I don't feel like that's not what I got from it. I got that this is Jigen looking at Lupin going, why do you constantly find this woman? Why are we still rushing after her? She's nothing but trouble. She does nothing but bad things for us.
Yeah, this episode specifically does
batshit
both things.
Yeah,
because it is very odd, the choices that are made with this.
This episode is batshit insane,
and it might be the translation because Jigen uses the word met when he's talking about finding her in the burning forest.
We met her, yeah. But I feel like that met is meant to be we found.
Yeah.
Or met up with. Not like we just met her.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it honestly could go either way because
this definitely seems like it takes place who knows when?
But Lupin automatically goes, it's my lover Fujiko.
That's like the next day after they've. It's definitely I have a feeling these are definitely made to be played in any order, and it'll make as much sense as any other order.
Yeah,
I don't think there's continuity from episode to episode,
especially not right now. Maybe later there will be.
Yeah,
maybe like part 2 when they're like, okay, this is an actual show now. People care about this stuff. Let's actually figure out what's going on here.
Let's try.
Yeah. If we're going to be doing shit based off of these books, maybe we actually...
Yeah. So
maximum effort.
One of the interesting thing about this episode is this the first instance of an emo character on screen? Because Pykel
he is so emo.
Is incredibly emo.
Yeah.
His hair.
He's got the one eye.
His demeanor, like...
He's all slump-shouldered and cave-chested. And
yeah, he 100%
he's a magician, like a professional magician. The ultimate emo.
He is 100% that, like, mid-2000s to early 2010s emo.
He definitely has whatever the 70s version of My Chemical Romance is.
Yeah.
On his radio at all times.
What we just looked up this. What was he is 1970s Davey Havok.
Yes. Gerard Way.
Or Gerard Way.
Yeah, so there's a little more intrigue in this episode, I feel like, where Lupin hasn't already figured out everything before the episode starts, because I feel like that's the first episode where he's already figured out all the secret plans. He knows how he's going to get into the secret lair and kill everybody, and he just kind of doesn't. Whereas this one, we get to kind of watch him figure out.
Which I dug, because I like finding, like, I like characters where they do that with. They're like, oh, this is a really smart character. But instead of just being like, oh, they already had it all figured out before you got here, let us show you them figuring it out.
Yeah.
And even though it does take him getting a concussion to figure things out.
I loved that it took a massive bonk on the head for him to be like, Oh.
Yeah, there's some good bits in here, especially involving the super tough invisible glass
Yeah.
thing.
There is some more sexual assault.
Little bit.
Possible rape.
Maybe.
No.
Off screen.
All we see is him tie her up and then throw her down the waterfall.
We see him rip her dress off of her and then,
cut to black.
And then come at her still with his pants undone. Cut to black.
I thought he
was getting naked.
Yeah. But then, like, she shoots him.
Yes.
And then he
jumps
tears her dress off.
And then it cuts to
And then I thought
Lupin
from there
and
And then he
Jigen.
continues to walk towards her, and she's like, ah! Cut to
Yeah.
black.
I thought it cut to him tying her wrists and then putting her
No,
down the
that's
hole.
when Lupin and Jigen are trying to figure out
That's a little later.
what's going on. And then it cuts back to her hanging over the waterfall later on.
Yeah, because they do it because like the first time it's literally just her in like bra and underwear.
Yep.
And then we later see him like pulling her up and she's in like a nightgown.
Yep. Either way, Fujiko gets sexually assaulted again.
Either
Yeah.
way, not good times.
Fortunately, the nudity happens before that, so we get a very detailed shot of Fujiko's
I was going to
junk in her
say,
trunk.
we get to see all of Fujiko's peach.
Dead ass though.
Fuck.
Gotta,
Are we
gotta
bad
have-
people?
Are we bad people? I don't think we're the bad people.
Yeah, we didn't draw. We're just.
We watched it though.
We
We're
did. We
complicit.
didn't know, to be fair.
Yeah, I didn't know there was going to be
This is
nudity
not
in
the
this.
character we've literally been upfront about that. This is not the character we thought we were getting.
No.
Yeah.
We thought we were getting a very competent character who is not just
She was more in the second half of the first episode.
yeah.
Kind of.
She does something. I can't
She does
remember.
a half of something. She does as much as everybody else. No, she does less than everybody else. Yeah. So in this episode, see, I felt like this episode had more Fujiko super spy because she was very much just like, I'm gonna shoot you with my garter gun.
Yeah.
And
After
then I
she
get-
escapes from him,
Yeah.
she does more.
She does more.
Yeah.
And the only reason she goes there is to like, and then she like leaves her tape for him, telling him that Lupin's coming. She's stolen these tapes, this film, which is why everybody's after her in the first place.
Yeah. So she does some thievery in this episode. Lupin
Yeah.
does not.
Yeah.
He does some apparently simple chemistry to create an indestructible
Polymer spray.
an indestructible glass and also an invisible flamethrower that just is on your fingers.
It's just on your finger. It's just a simple hose that runs from a compartment to the sleeve, and then
Yeah.
just immediately comes out of your fingertip when you point it.
But nobody can see that, so it's cool.
But yeah,
The
it
beginning
was
of
the 70s. What do you want?
Yeah, the beginning of this episode's pretty wild though, because you see two guys in trench coats kick in a door and just lay waste to this guy's room and pump him full of lead. You think, and then he just shows up at Lupin's house because Fujiko is there and she's got the secret data tapes and Star Wars reference for
Star Wars
all you
reference.
guys.
This magician's clairvoyance wasn't enough to recover the stolen data tapes.
Yeah. So Lupin's body count in this episode is definitely a lot lower. It's
Yeah.
just one person instead of hundreds. He definitely seems to get enjoyment out of killing. I don't know.
Does he kill him?
He sets him on fire after his polymer melts away and then kicks him off a waterfall.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he survived that.
he survived.
I mean, obviously,
spoiler
because,
alert.
spoiler alert. There's a Lupin movie called The Return of Pykel, so
But I definitely thought he would have survived regardless. The water put him out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not on fire anymore.
It's not on fire.
waterfalls notoriously survivable.
In 70s anime, they were.
Yeah.
That's true.
In any anime they are.
Water is like a big pillow, right? He just gently cradles you,
Exactly.
no matter how far you fall from.
Yeah.
There's
exactly.
definitely never under anything directly beneath the surface
Like rocks.
like rocks.
Big,
Like the
sharp,
surface of
pointy
the
rocks.
water that's
I
essentially
mean, the surface
cement.
of the water is already being broken by the waterfall, so that you don't even have to worry about. Science.
Okay, Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Don't quote me on that. But it's definitely true.
Yeah. So I think the evidence against Mr. Mr. Lupin is pretty incontrovertible here. Episode 1, we have about 300 counts of first-degree murder.
Woof.
I mean, there wasn't that many people in that room that he blows up, but that he like electrocutes.
Yeah.
A lot of the people in the stands didn't make it out of there.
You know,
A lot of collateral
I'm gonna
damage.
go with that wasn't his fault.
I mean,
Definitely planted all the bombs that killed the people.
Did he plant the bombs or did the bad guys plant the bombs?
we literally see him planting the bombs on the cars.
Yeah.
But he's the good guy.
Yeah, so it's a high count.
So I'm in this podcast, I think every episode we're gonna go guilty or innocent. Episode 1,
Guilty.
I'm gonna say guilty.
Guilty.
As fuck.
Guilty as fuck.
Episode 2, I'm gonna say not guilty.
Because the dude
Self-defense.
is literally, it's self-defense.
Self-defense.
Kind of.
I think this one needs to go to the jury. And since we are not the jury, we are just the prosecutor. We're not even prosecutors.
We're just the investigating.
I definitely would arrest him.
I'm gonna say entrapment. Entrapment with intent to self-defense.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, bro was just coming to steal his girl.
Yeah.
And so...
You know what? I'm gonna stick with my original. He was innocent. Lupin did nothing wrong in episode 2.
To be fair, he just picked her up because she was in a burning forest.
Yeah.
And then when she gets kidnapped, he goes to save her. Almost gets his shit wrecked when she's getting kidnapped.
Yeah.
And then when he tries to chase after her, he runs into a big old plate of glass.
Yeah.
And gets another more CTE in the episode.
And yeah, he didn't do anything wrong. He just figured out what the dude was doing and did it and used it as a way to be like, hey, now you can't hurt me.
Yeah. So you're not that cool.
I mean, if
He
somebody
did set him on fire.
I'm gonna say, I think if someone shoots at you and then you go buy a gun and then drive to their house and break
And then
into their
shoot
house
them, I don't
to wait
think
for
it's
them
self-defense
to shoot them.
anymore.
Yeah.
It's not self-defense anymore.
I mean,
No, that's premeditated at that point.
I'm pretty sure all of the Death Wish movies would disagree with you, but...
I'm gonna say that guy is also guilty. I can't remember the name of that character, but I'm gonna change it. You guys have convinced me. I'm going guilty on all counts.
Yeah.
Both episodes. Jonathan, you haven't weighed in on your...
Oh, I'm going guilty for sure.
Second one, I'm on the fence. I feel like I would definitely arrest him, but
It might not.
I wouldn't want to be on that jury.
Depending on who the attorneys are, that one could go either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I definitely, as your friendly neighborhood officer, the best bro Heather, would definitely arrest him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we've gum to a good consensus.
Gumshoe.
We've gumshoed to a good consensus.
Yeah.
Bringing it back.
Oh, got
Bring
it.
it back. Thank you for listening to Zenigata's Casebook. We've got a lot more evidence, a lot more crimes to investigate.
Hopefully-
By one, Mr.
A
Lupin
lot
III.
more sexual assaults.
Hopefully
Hopefully
less
that's true.
sexual assaults.
I think one thing that will stay the same is that there will be no innocent parties in any of these episodes, except for maybe Fujiko. But she'll probably do something. I mean, she did steal the data tapes, I guess,
Yeah.
in the second episode. So she's
Yeah,
a
I
player in
definitely
all
don't
this.
think she's been
Innocent at all.
maybe the first episode.
She definitely
She
was
broke
trespassing.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, is it trespassing if it's of an evil lair?
Yes.
It's still bad if you break in. It's like saying, is it bad if you shoot a pedophile? It is. It still is, unfortunately.
We got laws in this country, damn it.
So yeah, Fujiko's not innocent either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a bunch of guilty people doing bad things, and hopefully fewer of those bad things involve.
Sexual assault on Fujiko.
Yes. Because I just want a fun show where Lupin steals stuff.
And tries to hit on Fujiko, and she shoots him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to hopefully a version of this show where Fujiko is sexualized because she wants to be
Yeah.
and not because
She's the only
everybody
female
around
character.
her wants her to be.
Yeah. So the next 2 episodes that are coming up, we got some witches and we got a prison breakout coming up. Also, looking ahead, really excited about episode 5, the coming of Goemon the 13th.
Hey, Goemon.
Our man Goemon's coming up, baby.
Goemon!
Thank you for listening. Please check out Zenigata's Casebook on Instagram. We have 3 posts up so far, but as we're releasing these episodes and as we start ramping up production of this, hopefully that'll increase. And as we said during our trailer that you all listened to, these episodes will be coming out Thursdays. So keep your ear to the grindstone, folks, because we're just beginning on this. I guess we cut it down to 4 years, but then we bumped it back up to like 5.5 with the realizing there's so many movies out there.
Probably our 5-year mission to explore Fujiko's body.
No.
I'm out. I'm out.
I apologize.
Jesus. This could get real rough, guys.
You are being real rough.
Hopefully, at some point, if in the next few years we get enough evidence against Mr. Lupin to finally put him behind bars and end his reign of terror. Thank you all for listening, and we'll be back next week.